Assalamu alaikum. I'm Dina. Today I'm gonna analyze the poem of the Negro Speaks of Rivers for Langston Hughes. First, we'll read a brief, quick introduction about this poem. Then we will read it and get into the analytical aspects of it. Okay, here we go. This poem is written in 1920 by the American poet Langston Hughes. It is one of the main poems of the literary movement, the Harlem Renaissance, which traces Black history from the beginning of human civilization to the present, and includes victories such as the construction of Egypt's pyramids and horrors such as American slavery. The poem states that the Black spirit has integrated all these historical experiences and in this process has become profound, and the poem therefore indicates that the Black cultural identity persists, that it extends through violence and displacement from slavery to connect with the past, and that Blacks have made vital contributions but are often neglected in human civilization. Okay. Now I read the poem. It's a beautiful one for use. Okay. I've known rivers ancient as the world, and older than the flow of human blood in human veins. My soul has grown deep like the rivers. I bathed in the Euphrates when dawns were young. I put my hut near the Congo, and it lulled me to sleep. I looked upon the Nile and raised the pyramids above it. I heard the singing of the Mississippi when A.B. Lincoln went down to New Orleans, and I've seen its muddy bosom turn all golden in the sunset. I've known rivers, ancient dusky rivers. My soul has grown deep like the rivers. This poem has a lot of analytical aspects, such as the repetition, which considers as a poetic device. We have a lot of repetitions. As we see, we have the phrase, my soul has grown deep like the rivers, and the last line, and these considers as a simile, because we have comparing soul and rivers using like. Okay, then we have the verbs I bathed, I felt, I looked, I heard. So these I's are being repeated, okay, but we have restatement as well. Remember when we did speeches, we also did repetition and we focused on a restatement. So those are the three that you should be looking at: repetition, simile, restatement, and imagery. Okay, let's break this down. I did give you the definition of rivers. You should know what kind of body water it is and usually flows in one direction. Alright, here in this line, I've known rivers ancient as the world. So here, guys, used to say that rivers itself is the speaker's ancestors. Rivers as old as the planet Earth. So this is what says ancient as the world. Okay? Older than the flow of human blood, he adds. So you think about the beginning of time. Okay? And the next one, my soul has grown deep like the river. So again, referring back to rivers as his ancestors. Okay? Our speaker's soul is rooted in where these ancestors. And the pronoun them, it seems as if the rivers have witnessed many important events in history, and this stanza explains it. First line in the stanza, I bathed in the Euphrates when dawns were young. Then he talks about the Congo and the Nile and the Mississippi. First, I do want to discuss these rivers. The first one is Euphrates, as he mentioned, location in Western Asia, and it comprises these three countries, Iraq, Syria, and Turkey. And this river was derived during this era Mesopotamian era, okay? Then we have Congo, is the second largest river in Africa. Okay, and the Euphrates is the largest river in Western Asia. And the Nile is the next river that Hughes discussed, and that is the Northeast Africa, mainly in Egypt. And then we have the Mississippi in the US, so which is the second river. Now, back to this analysis. So the first line again, I bathed in the Euphrates when dawns were young. Here, he's talking about his ancestors, beginning of time. Okay? Basically, when Earth was created. Because again, older than the flow of blood, human blood, he means. Okay? And then in the next line, I built my hut near the Congo, and it lulled me to sleep. Here in this line, discuss his home life in Africa. Okay? The next line is mentioned, I looked upon the Nile and raised the pyramids above it. He is talking about the slavery in Egypt, that is his ancestors endured. Next one, I hear the singing of the Mississippi when A.B. Lincoln went down to New Orleans. Here, right, Mississippi, A.B. Lincoln, okay, talking about the South Civil War era, slavery. And when he add the line is, and I've seen its muddy bosom turn all the golden in the sunset. Here, Mississippi is actually known as a muddy water. And then this line here, guys, ties the whole stanza together. Okay, the fact that his ancestors have lived through so much yet, they paved the way for African Americans like Hughes. And here in this line, I've known rivers, ancient dusky rivers. So here's the definition of the dusky. Okay, it means dark. There is a connection here, the fact that he does describe the rivers as a dark. There is a connection to the dark-skinned individuals from West Asia. So the Euphrates, the connection to the individuals from African Congo. Okay? And he add the Nile River, locates in Northeast Africa, and the US for Mississippi. So dark rivers, connection to the dark-skinned individuals from West Asia and Africa. And the US, whose cultures the speakers feels connected to through his ancestors. In this last line, he repeats again from, my soul has grown deep like the rivers. So again, he is saying here that the identity of being a black is derived from ancient black cultures. So the fact that Hughes refers back to these important rivers, and again, these rivers symbolizes his ancestors. Hope you understand this analysis, and see you guys in the next class. Hope you enjoy this. Thank you for watching.